So this is my first Cardfight video, and I'm going to be doing Cardfight Vanguard possible clans and what they would do. Keep in mind while I'm doing this that these are just my ideas for cards and clan names. They're not written in stone, but I think that the concepts are pretty good. So with that done, here's some of my ideas. So the first of them is Armory Spirits. Their focus is deck destruction, and they're from the Dark Zone. So I'm imagining a clan that's based on possessed weaponry that is going to attempt to just eliminate the opponent's strongest units and replace them with weaker ones by forcing them to superior opponents from the deck. And so, yeah, I made up my own grade 3 with the stride skill in Generation Break 2. He's called the Forbidden Blade Excalibur. His stride skill is you get to counterblast 1, and the opponent chooses the top card of their deck, calls it to a rearguard space, and puts one of their rear guards, since that's not that unit, into the soul. Then, that unit cannot intercept and is returned into the owner's hand at the end of the turn. Yeah, his Generation Break is well, it's working pretty similarly, but on the other side of the coin, as in punishing them for calling out that unit. It is when the opponent calls a unit to rearguard from the deck, that unit gets, when this unit would intercept, you must counterblast 1 or it cannot. And when it is retired, you must discard a card or counterblast 1. So, yeah. I just made that so that those units become, like, worthless to them, and then it just ends up hurting them a lot. And so second is the Ace variants. They specialize in their variable ability, and yes, I made up my own keyword. Yeah, variable is an ability that activates whenever the card is in the hand, drop zone, damage zone, or bind zone. It says it on the card, and the thing about these guys is it's really special, I think, because lots of units have abilities that do that kind of stuff. But their abilities actually change based on which one they are in. We see every single unit with variable in their name activates from at least 2 places. So the ability changes. Yeah, I'd say that for a really good example would be the Heat Transition Mech Delta that I made up. This unit hits, well, when it's in the drop zone, it can be returned to the hand by discarding 1 card. And when it's in the hand, then your Vanguard automatically gains 1,000 power when this unit is called. So, yeah, it has some pretty good abilities that can alternate and just change around a lot. And so, then the Stride Hit Scale Generation Break 2 Grade 3 of the Ace variants, who I decided to call Transition Mech Alpha, has a stride skill that allows you to take 1 point of damage, heal 1 point of damage, and then add a card from the drop zone to your hand. So this can trigger a lot of variables at once, and yeah, it just makes things really interesting because you can't really check that. The Narukami clans, all the retiring clans, all those units that force their units it's back into the deck, drop zone, bind zone, hand. Those decks can't really get a hold on this. And I think that that's really valuable. And so, last one is the Frost Circle. These are from Magellanica? I'm never sure how to pronounce that. But anyways, yeah, these guys negate and steal abilities from the enemy units, and they also have their own keyword, which is freeze. It's kind of the opposite of the Kagero keyword blaze, as freeze can only activate when the opponent has 3 or more units on Vanguard and Rearguard. So, yeah, they gain pretty powerful things on top of that, which quite a few of them involve, much like the armored spirits. Quite a few of them involve just superior calling units, but this time making them useless in a different fashion by eliminating their abilities and activating skills that reduce their power as well, which really just punishes decks that rely on that kind of stuff. I'm thinking of Neo Nectar, Kagero, Royal Paladin. Yeah, those decks really get hurt by this kind of thing. And a good example is the Grade 3 Stride Scale and Duration Break 2 of this deck. That is Sub-Zero Fighter Cheyenne. I'm not sure about the name, but Sub-Zero Fighter does sound pretty cool. So, yeah. His ability is that whenever your G unit strides, he's nullify the ability of one rear guard until the end of the opponent's next turn, and give 3,000 points to your G unit. So, yeah, this is pretty good against decks that run Maelstrom, those reverse units. Yeah, those ones that start out with 13k. These are pretty good against those, as it gets 3,000 power, and then has the side effect of negating the opponent's ability until the end of their next turn. So, I'm looking at Berserk Lord Dragon, Green Shot Elf. I'm looking at you guys. So, yeah. This is really devastating when played correctly on the right decks. And, yeah, that was my first video, and I hope you like it, and give your own ideas.